Then you may start.
Can I start?
Yeah, you can start now.
सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। अद्यतनस्य संस्कृतवाणी कार्यक्रमस्य हार्दिक स्वागतम्। अद्यतनं श्रीमती गायत्री सञ्चालकरूपेण अस्ति। सा शास्त्रा विश्वविद्यालयस्य शोधविद्वान् अस्ति। A research scholar who pursues interdisciplinary research on Sanskrit and biotechnology. She holds master's degree in biotechnology, Sanskrit and Hindi. Being the university topper and a gold medalist, she conducts neat coaching classes for aspiring students. She is a multi-talented person, a Carnatic singer, public speaker, and a social worker who promotes the Deva Bhasha through Bhagavad Gita, Samskrita classes to all age groups in various platforms. She also conducts classes on Devi Mahatmyam, Narayaniyam, Sundarakandam, etc. She is associated with Samskrita Bharathi and Chinmaya Vidyalaya from childhood. I request her to take over the mic.
Hari Om, Shruyate va? Am I audible?
Samyak Shruyate.
Dhanyasmi. Namasabhaye sarvebhyascha adyatana samskritamanyah sanchalakarupeణ agataham कार्यक्रमेऽस्मिन् भागं स्वीकर्तुम् उत्सुकाः सर्वेभ्यः मम नमस्कारान् समर्पयामि प्रथमम्। अपि च संस्कृतवाण्याः बान्धवेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः स्वागतं व्याहरामि। A warm welcome to one and all who have gathered here for tonight's program of Samskrita Vani. It gives me immense pleasure to meet you all as I'm meeting you all for the very first time. And it also gives me immense pleasure to be with you all tonight who are all determined to participate in today's program. Adyatana karyakramasya mahatvam adhikam asti karanadvayena. Ekam tu asya karyakramasya saptahaha asmakam samskritavanyah panchavimshatitama saptahaha asti iti karanena. Dvitiyantu adyatana karyakramasya shirshakaha asti Nari Shakti iti. Agami Vishwa Mahila Dinasya Avasaram Anusritya Adyatana Shirshaka Nirmanam Kritavadhyaha Ayojakebhyaha Mama Shubhashayam Yaharami. Today's program has two significances. One is that the day marks the 25th week celebrations of Samskrita Vani, and the other is the theme for today, that is Nari Shakti, women power. I would like to extend my warm greetings to the organizers who have aptly fixed today's theme on the advent of the International Women's Day that's very fast approaching. Samskrite vadamaha akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaraha keshavam prati gacchati iti. Ataha Pova bhavatu asmakam karyakramaha tasya shubha prarambhaya prarthanam kurumaha prathamam iti. Asmakam prarthanam anusritya keshavaha api asman ashirvadayatu iti prarthayeham. Prarthanam karoti Srimati Meera Rameshaha. Srimati Meera Ramesh is a Carnatic vocalist who has had the privilege of being tutored by great stalwarts of music. She is also an active learner of Tirupugal. I now call upon her to commence our program with the Prarthana.
Thank you. Kanchadalatachi Kanchadalayatachi Kamachi Kanchadalayatachi Kamachi Kanchadalayatachi Kamachi कमला मनोहरि त्रिपुर सुंदरी कांचदलायताक्षी कामाक्षी कमला मनोहरि त्रिपुर सुंदरी कांचदलायताक्षी कुंजरगमनी कुंजरगमनी मणिमंडित मंजुल चरणे कुंजरगमनी मणिमंडित मंजुल चरणे कुंजरगमनी मणिमंडित मंजुल चरणे मामव शिव पंजर सुखी पंकज मुखी गुरु गुह रंजनी दुरित भंजनी निरंजनी कुंजरगमनी मणिमंडित मंजुल चरणे मामव शिव पंजर सुखी पंकज मुखी गुरु गुह रंजनी दुरित भंजनी निरंजनी सा सनि द प म ग म प नि द प म ग सा सनि द प नि स स ग स ग म प नि सा सनि द प म ग म प नि द प म ग सा सनि द प नि स स ग स ग म प नि सा सनि स ग स म ग सनि द प नि नि सा सनि द प म ग सनि स ग म प नि सा सनि स ग स म ग सनि द प नि नि सा सनि द प म ग सनि स ग म प नि कांचदलायताक्षी कामाक्षी कमला मनोहरि त्रिपुर सुंदरी कांचदलायताक्षी शशिवदने सूरदने शशिवदने सूरधने शशिवदने सूरधने रक्षितमदने रत्नसदने शशिवदने सूरधने रक्षितमदने रत्नसदने श्रीकाञ्चन वसने सूरसने श्रीकाञ्चन वसने सूरसने श्रृंगाराश्रयमन्दहसने श्रृंगाराश्रयमन्दहसने एकानेकाक्षरि भुवनेश्वरि एकानन्दामृतझरि भास्वरि एकानेकाक्षरि भुवनेश्वरि एकानन्दामृतझरि भास्वरि एकाग्रमनोलय हरि श्रीकरि एकाम्रेश गृहेश्वरि शङ्करि नेकाक्षरि भुवनेश्वरि एकानन्दामृतझरि भास्वरि एकाग्रमनोलय हरि श्रीकरि एकाम्रेश गृहेश्वरि शङ्करि सा सनि द प म ग म प नि द प म ग सा सनि द प नि स स ग स ग म प नि सा सनि स ग स म ग सनि द प नि नि सा सनि द प म ग सनि स ग म प नि कांचदलायताक्षी कामाक्षी कमला मनोहरि त्रिपुर सुंदरी कांचदलायताक्षी Thank you.
अद्भुतम् आसीत् माता महान् सन्तोषः कमला मनोहरी रागायां दीक्षितवर्यैः रचयितम् इदं कृतिः अत्यद्भुतम् आसीत् भवत्याः ध्वनिः अपि अत्युत्तमम् आसीत् महान् सन्तोषः सुष्ठु भाषितम् अस्ति सुभाषितम् अधुना अद्यतन सुभाषितं सूचयितुं डॉक्टर उमा भारती महोदये आवेदयामि इयम् आर्या महाकवि सुब्रह्मण्य भारतेः प्रपौत्री अस्ति इति विशेषः डॉक्टर उमा भारती is the great granddaughter of Mahakavi Subramanya Bharati. She is a multifaceted personality associated with several organizations and committees. She also has an experience in journalism and has served as editor for many magazines. She has indulged herself to spread the language of Tamil to the masses. She is a recipient of many awards like the Kaviyari Award from Canada, Tamil Mamani Award, Bharathi Pugalmani Award, and so on. I now invite her to recite today's Subhashitam. Please, ma'am.
सर्वे जनाः नमस्कारः अद्य सुभाषितं नरस्याभरणं रूपं रूपस्याभरणं गुणः गुणस्याभरणं ज्ञानं ज्ञानस्याभरणं क्षमा अंधं नास्ति नरः सद्गुणः अवश्यं भवति देवस्य ज्ञानं भवति इदानीं त्रिवर्गस्य गुणानि अस्ति चेतरूपं गुणः ज्ञानं सर्वाः क्षमा उद्वा अत्र उत्तमदिने महिलायाः दिनचर्ये शुभदिने मया सन्तोषः भवति इदानीं प्राइड ऑफ भारत हेरिटेज संस्कृत वाणी चान्स् कृत्वा घनस्य मम सख्याः कृते श्रीमती विशाली कृष्णाय श्रीमती गायत्री श्रीधराय कृते अपि श्रीमती चित्राय कृते धन्यवादं प्रकटयामि धन्यवादः भारत माता की जय जय हिंद
महान् सन्तोषः माता धन्यास्मि अत्युत्तम सुभाषितं सूचितवती अधुना न काचित् भावना भक्तिः न काचित् साधना शक्तिः परं श्रद्धा कुसुमाञ्जलिभिः त्वदीयं स्वागतं कुर्मः इति वदामः अस्माकं सनातनधर्मे अतः स्वागत संभाषणाय अधुना श्री शिवकुमार महोदयम् आह्वयामि I now request Shri Sivakumar Aiyer to deliver the welcome address for today's gathering.
वसुदेव सुदं देवं कंचचारूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानंदं कृष्णं वन्दे जगत्पुरं मूकं करोति वाचालं पंकुं लंकयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमातरम् सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः शुभ संध्या I welcome Shri Gayathri, Srimati Meera Rajesh, Dr. R. Uma Bharati, Shri Shankar Kumaran, Srimati Annapoorani, Shri P.J. Sownderrajan, Kumari Varshini, Kumari Sudarshana, Kumari Lakshmi, and other participants for today's Samskrita Vani program. Just for the newcomers, we have started this Samskrita Vani program to promote Sanskrit under the Pride of Bharat umbrella in November 2021 under the guidance of Shri Ravi Kumarji. Great enthusiasm and participation of like-minded participants, we have entered 2023. We wish to present more focused programs so that many will get benefit out of our program. At this stage, we would like to thank all those who have contributed for conducting this monthly program by way of singing Shlokas, Bhashitam, Bhagavad Gita, talks on specialized topic, bhajans, and of course, anchoring. I, on behalf of Samskrita Vani team, once again welcome all for today's program. Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादाः शिवकुमार जी। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। गीताध्यानस्य श्लोकोऽयं श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतायाः वैशिष्ट्यं सूचयति अस्मान् यत् गीता इति महत् अमृतं दुग्धरूपेण पिबन्ति सुधियः इति। This shloka of Gita Dhyanam portrays the significance of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is one among the Prasthanatrayi. It says, when all Upanishads are compared to the cows, their milker being the Lord himself, the calf being Partha or Arjuna, the consumers of the milk being the scholars with purified intellects, the milk is none other than the supreme nectar of Gita itself. A devoted study, Adhyayanam, of the Gita bestows the reader with the essence of all Vedas and Upanishads. Ataha, Shri Shankar Kumaran Mahodayam, Gitayaha Kechana Jiva Pathanam Suchanam Karayitum Prarthaye. I now request Shri Shankar Kumaranji to enlighten the session with few glimpses from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Shri Shankar Kumaranji is an academician with a master's in Sanskritam and Yoga, who also happens to be a visiting faculty at Amrita University. He also happens to be a life education coach. Samskrita Vani is very happy to invite you to this session, Ji.
Sarvebhyah Swagatam. Today, we are not going to connect from where we left in the previous session. Since today is Women's Day, we are going to have a perspective of Mahabharata. Since Bhagavad Gita comes in Mahabharata, we thought of discussing the entire woman perspective from Mahabharata. As we all know, we were discussing about Mahabharatam, and we were discussing about the Yuddha, and we were discussing about the argument which is happening between Krishna and Arjuna. And one thing we forget to see in the big picture, all the 5 children are fighting for land against their own brothers and their own uncle and grandfather and the entire relatives. And there is going to be definitely a bloodshed, and definitely within family there is going to be death. This entire discussion would have definitely happened in home. Normally when such discussion happens, the first thing what happens is the elders take the decision and they come inside the picture and they solve the problem and they stop the fight. The same way, even in Mahabharata, all these things happen. But before going into the nuances of this Yuddham, if we little bit go away and see the entire Mahabharata, why exactly Mahabharata is emphasized more, the first problem what we will come to know is a woman is insulted. Draupadi Vastrabharana, which the entire Mahabharata is built around. There are 2 great itihasas in India. One is Ramayana and the other one is Mahabharata. And I don't know whether to call it fortunate or unfortunate. 2 great wars and 2 great historical moments happened in India just because of insult happened to one woman. In Ramayana, it is the kidnapping sequence of Sita, which is the main sutram of the entire Ramayana. And here, it is Draupadi's Vastrabharana. You can't imagine an insult for a woman is the main reason for entire plot where such a huge war is happening.
Shankar Kumaranji, sorry to interrupt. You are on mute.
Okay. Yes. Am I audible? So definitely the Indian approach towards women is very, very unique and very, very pro-woman in every walks of life. Without doubt, we can call it. I'm going to give you few reasons which we need to remember, not only as a part of our organization, Pride of Bharat, but also as a torchbearer to tell the world that how in India, both present and in ancient India, women is the center of everything happening. The first thing which I would like to tell is Sati, because whenever we say anything positive about India and women, the first thing people say is Sati was there. When husband is dead, then wife will be thrown into fire and she also will be killed. A very basic thing which we need to understand is Sati is not forced from the people outside, but voluntarily, if a woman tries to take off her life in the absence of her husband, she don't want to live, then she herself decides of her departure along with her husband. This is what is the ancient design of Sati. And what is the proof for it? Very simple. Kunti was alive throughout the journey till the Yuddha completes, and she didn't enter into Sati, though her husband died. So Pandu is her husband, Panchapandava's father, and when Pandu died, Kunti didn't die. And there's a very beautiful conversation between Kunti and Pandu's second wife. At that time, the second wife says, without my husband, I can't even imagine my life in this world. Therefore, my dear sister, you take care of the children, and I am going to walk this fire along with my husband's body. And not only this, we also see in Ramayana, where when Rama is in forest and Bharata is going to forest to convince his brother to bring back Rama to the kingdom, Rama didn't go alone. Rama went with all Dasharatha's wives. Rama's wife Kaushalya, Subhadra, Kaikeyi, all three go there to forest. And all the three were there in the forest along with Bharata and this entire army to convince Rama to come back. And even after 14 years when Rama was back, all the mother were there. So there are so many instances where we can prove that Sati was not forced or compulsory anywhere in the ancient Indian history. The second thing, what everybody get into the idea when we think about Indian concept of woman is freedom. Indian women don't get freedom. Understand, when we talk about ancient India, definitely the medieval India, the time where 2000 years continuously we got attacked by so many civilizations around the country, around the world, continuously for 2000 years, influence is also there. So when we think about India, we can't think about the nearest past which happened in our own time. When we think about India, Ramayana and Mahabharata are our references to understand what kind of a picture we had in ancient India regarding women. I can guarantee say this, it is almost nil to have an image where a woman can walk and choose her husband, like how today a person can decide his car or bike. This may look very low to have such a comparison, but I was obviously thinking how a woman can have a swayamvara and not a man can have a swayamvara like this, where women are standing in this a big palace and a king is also very important, right? But even king never had such a swayamvaram in the context of even king's marriage didn't happen that way, but queen's marriage used to happen because that kind of freedom was given in the context of women in this country. And when we closely observe one thing, we understand very clearly in ancient India, we gave huge importance to decision-making ability when it comes to women. This is the last thing which we need to remember. Both male and female are not exactly the same. And here, I mean not about this, the equality thing, what people are talking today, but in ancient India, we gave a very huge importance to the male psychology and female psychology. That is why before taking any big decision, the husband is supposed to discuss with his wife and mother, and only then he need to take a decision. This was one custom which was there even from ancient India. There is one incident which I would like to tell, where Pancha Pandavas are in forest. They are in their Vanavasa. Pancha Pandavas all are sitting in the forest hut, and Krishna came to see them. Krishna with his wife Rukmini came with Krishna. Rukmini and Krishna, they both are in the forest hut where Pancha Pandavas and Draupadi are there. At that time, when they were discussing about what happened in the past, Bhima gets angry. Bhima gets such an anger that
Shalaji, voice valla. Hello?
Shankar Kumaranji?
I think his line.
You
are on mute.
You are on mute.
इदानीं श्रूयते क्षन्तव्यम्. When Bhima got angry and Bhima started telling about all his pledge, and he says that I will smash all these people, I will kill all these people. That is the time when Draupadi just gives one simple glance at Bhima, and Bhima's full anger comes down and he just sits in his place as if like a small cat. And seeing this scene, when such a great anger of Bhima can be, squashed into like, a kitten in few seconds just by a simple glance of Draupadi, Rukmini got so much of jealous how this single girl handles all these 5 people, and all these 5 great people, great warriors in their own domain, are just like a henpecked husband in front of this simple girl. And I am just having one husband in the name of Krishna, and I can't even understand him, not even taming. I can't even understand my husband. And when this situation comes in, Rukmini was literally out of words. So the same day, Rukmini calls Draupadi separately, and Rukmini tells Draupadi, my dear Draupadi, please tell me this, what is the secret you are using? How are you making these 5 great people fully in your control? And I can't even make one husband which I am to even listen one time in my day to listen whatever I say. So at that time, Draupadi gets angry because she says in a little funny way, like, what kind of a magic powder you are using? How are you handling? And Draupadi gets angry and Draupadi scolds. Now, do you think this is all out of power and magic I am doing? And then Draupadi makes a very beautiful statement. Normally in ancient India, people don't talk about themselves. They don't do self-bragging. But whenever the situation arises about the credibility issue comes in, definitely they don't feel fear or, they don't feel bad to tell about their own greatness. And this is such a moment where Draupadi was forced to tell about her own past. And Draupadi tells, please do listen, Rukmini. These 5 legends are now listening to me, and whatever I say, they take decision based on my decision. And this is not happening just because I have some superpowers to control them, but because I was such a daughter-in-law and such a wife for those many years. Every day in the palace, when I am the queen, I am the first person to get up in the entire palace. I am the queen, but I am the first person to get up. And there are more than 1,000 employees there in the entire palace, and I know all of them by name, and I know every problem and every children, their situation, their house, their every problem of everybody's, and I can literally take care of not only these 5 people, but all the 1,000 families, those who are, the part and parcel of the palace. And I am the last person to go to bed. And if I can own the entire palace and everybody's life as mine, then obviously the whole palace will consider me as a mother, and whatever I say, they take it as a Veda Vakyam. And because I lived that way, these 5 legends are now literally listening to me, and they don't take a single decision without asking me. And mind this, definitely India had a very beautiful 2 poles when it comes to women. And that is what is the take of the day I'm going to tell you. Listen very carefully. In ancient India, 2 qualities are mentioned. Stritvam, Purushatvam. 2 qualities. Womanhood and manhood. When we discuss about these 2 concepts, 2 gunas are mentioned. One is Matritvam, motherhood, which all women have. And the another one is Paurushayatvam, manliness, which all men have. But the beauty of India is, ancient India beautifully tells this. Every woman should also have Paurushayatvam, and every man should have the Matritvam. A man should have the motherhood, and woman should have the manliness. Only when we get the balance, a most beautiful family and the most beautiful society and most beautiful world can be created. And since in ancient India, they had this amazing concept, the real Matritvam is not just the compassion and giving and surrender and sacrifice, but also when needed, they can take the control of the entire world, the Shri Shakti. And at the same time, manliness is not about control or dominance or force or anger, but also the motherhood, where they can balance and they can also compassion and they can also surrender and sacrifice themselves by drinking poison like great Shiva. And that is why Ardhanari Tattvam is one of the most elite concept of Indian philosophy. So we are here in this great occasion talking about womanhood. And this is what ancient Mahabharata teaches us, that a woman should have manliness also, and a man should have motherhood also. Om Swasti.
महान् सन्तोषः शङ्कर कुमरन् महोदय। अस्माकम् इतिहासयोः महिलानां सम्मानता यावत् अस्ति इति बहु स्पष्टीकृतवान् भवान्। धन्यवादाः। महिलानां स्थितिः आधुनिकभारते यावदस्ति महिलाभ्यः तस्य अपेक्षया बहु सम्यक् आसीत् इत्येव सत्यं। तद् बहु स्पष्टीकृतवान् भवान्। बहु सुलभतया अवगमनं यद् भवति तादृश उपस्थापनं कृत्वा बहु सम्यक् कृतवान्। धन्यवादाः। यत्र नार्यस्तु पूज्यन्ते रमन्ते तत्र देवताः, यत्रैतास्तु न पूज्यन्ते सर्वाः तत्र अफलाः क्रियाः इति वदति मनुस्मृति। So as the saying of Manusmriti goes, wherever women are honored, divinity blossoms there. And wherever women are dishonored, all actions, no matter how noble they are, remain unfruitful. As per the rich cultural heritage of our nation, the most irreplaceable, impeccable, and important things are compared to women. For example, Bharata Mata, Matrabhumi, Nadi, Chalana Hetuhu Shakti, Jnana Hetuhu Vidya, Jivana Hetuhu Vittam Ityadi. As today's theme is Nari Shakti, women power, I think people of the opposite gender can appreciate us better. So let me introduce the Mukhya Atithihi, our chief speaker for today, Shri P.J. Sownderrajan ji. Shri P.J. Sownderrajan is retired from the Central Secretariat Service, Government of India. He has particularly served in diverse departments like the food industry, agricultural sector, Ministry of Labor, Employment, and so on. He has represented Government of India in many conferences and has also defended the stand of Indian government against the Complaints Committee of ILO, Geneva, on grant of recognition to trade unions. He has also served under the IIT division of the Ministry of Education from 2019 to 2022. He has also worked as a school teacher in his early career from 1982 to 1984. He has also served as an advocate at the Delhi Bar Association. Apart from the above achievements, he has also given discourses on Tirupavai, Vishnu Sahasranamam, and so on. As an ardent follower of our Sanatana Dharma, he works at present for the cause of laborers, senior citizens, the physically challenged, and the pensioners. Samskrita Vani takes huge pleasure in welcoming him to the session tonight. I now request Shri P.J. Sownderrajan ji to enlighten us on the theme Nari Shakti with his topic, Women Empowerment in Hindu Society. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar, Matru-Shakti. Danim it was a great pleasure to me to be the part of this Samskrita Varni. Let me start with some invocations and Devi Stutis, that is, which is inscribed in Rig Veda and as well as part of Taittiriya Samhita. Krunahi Krutavati Shavitararipatti Payaswati Randira Shanostu Trivajasha Vishnupatnya Goraha Asheshana Jagatoho Pragaspadir Madarishwana Vayustunduvana Abhinokrananto Vishtambo Devodarana Pratavya Asheshana Jagato Vishnupatnihi. The Meda Shuktam starts with Om Meda Devi Jushamana Na Agat Vishwashi Bhadra Sumanasya Mata Tvaya Jushtha Nudamata Turuptam Bhagat Vedate Shuriraha. Similarly, the Devi Sukta, which is the oldest one in the Rig Veda, which is the part of this one, Aham Rudhrayabhip. It starts with this one. My predecessor, Mr. Kumaran and Sivakumar also, and the moderator of this session, they have enlightened about the Nari Shakti, that is women's power. Here, the Rig Veda period in the Hindu society, in the Samhita, it starts with Aham Rudhrayabhihi Vashubhis Charamyaha Adityairuhatu Adityairuta Vishve Devai Aham Mitra Varunova Viparyamavandra Shani Aham Vishpunova Aham Sovamahanasam. See, I am everything. So the Devi Suktam states this is supposed to be the Sukta that is liked by most by Devi, and hence it is chanted by thousands of wise men every day. Without these things, the Vedic scholars, they do not start their work with Meda Devi Suktam and Devi Suktam. This has been written by a woman sage by name Vak, who is the daughter of sage Ambarvan. The woman sage had reached the stage of identifying herself with Devi through her sadhana. She sings this suktam in such exalted state. Oh, I move along with the Rudras. That means I am Aham Rudrevi. I am the Vashu, Adityas, and all other Devatas. I bear the Mitra. I bear Varuna, Indra, Agni, and the two Ashwini Devas. It continues in this way. And there are 8 verses on this one. The last verse which says, when I start creating all the words, I function like the air, so fast in the function. I am taller and higher than the sky. I am greater than this earth. Such is my valor, might, prowess, and greatness. That is, ahameva vadaiva pravaham yarva bhana bhuvanan vishva aparo divaparo yera pradivve dhavati mahina sambhabhuva. This is the part of Devi Suktam. Why I am referring is, we have been in the status during the Vedic period, which has been now explained by my predecessor Kumaran from Bhagavad Gita and as well as the Mahabharata period. The empowerment of women, thus we can start with this in this way. Before that, let us remember this is the appropriate period. This is the National Women's Day was celebrated when this on 13th February, few years back, that is few decades back. It was on the birthday of Sarojini Naidu, 13th February. The empowered woman. Her original name was Sarojini Chattopadhyaya. She married to Govindarajan Naidu when she met him at UK, who is a physician. And the same period, the Shraddhanjali period now comes on the 2nd March. The great scholar, she was a civil rightist and she worked for women's emancipation, and also she fought against the imperialistic ideas of the British people. She is one example out of many empowered women, and she was in the modern India. And we know about her, and this is the story. How the Hindu society has accepted the transformation of Sarojini Naidu when she got married to Govindarajan Naidu. So Hindu society was never in such a way. It always accepted the changes and modernity, which was told in Vedic text and as well as in other smritis. Of course, it has changed during the modern times and as well as when post-Vedic period, and thereafter during the invasion of foreigners, maybe from the Turkestan, who ruled us, and the Britishers. There was a great gap between the Vedic period and the period in which the transformation took place. That is, when Buddhists and Jainism spread in India, the Vedic ideals started slowly getting down. And thereafter, there was an illusion. What is the role of an empowered woman? Whether she should lead an ascetic life or live independently, all these things, these issues were slowly misinterpreted in smritis, and the people, those who were in governance, and the people, those who have been employed by the people in power. Thereafter, the transition took place during the Islamic era, and the women's empowerment further suffered. That was the time when the Hindu society thought that we should protect our children from the evil eyes of our foreigners, because they have no intention to give life to the woman or to equally treat the woman. Because in other countries, there was no such treatment. I will come across with the experience later on. The Islamic period of 700 years, there was suppression against the human being, not only against women, but also against the women, especially the incidents that occurred at various places in India and also in southern India, in Tamil Nadu and as well as in Karnataka. The women fought against the rulers and protected the Vedic culture and the Hindu society. That was the story of the women who gave her life against the fight against Tipu Sultan. That was the modern thing. And the colonial era that took place, again, people thought about the empowerment of women. What should be done? Only the Vedic scholars, they have to give. And there was a Mullah law, that was a Persian law, where the English people could not put their own thing because they were also not well informed about the empowerment. And they said that, okay, we will have a common law. They have designed various things. And with the support of Vedic scholars and as well as those educated people and erudite scholars. And there also, there was an illusion how to transform the women from the existing status to the empowered status. These three periods, the fourth one is the modern India, how we have transformed, that we can see it. And before that, let us have a brief look of our Hindu society, which lived during the Vedic period. In Vedic period, the Hindu society was so informed and educated. Women's empowerment was at top. Women's labor has conveyed the pictures of civilization through its history of superiority and restraint, resulting in the foundation of human civilization. It may be anywhere else, and the affirmative of its power. Again, human civilization that developed because of the support and the power of women. Superiority and willingness to achieve rapid development in all disciplines on this planet that took place with the help of women power, the empowered women. Despite the fact that women's achievements have been obscured throughout history. Ancient Indian literature, it talks about and depicts about women's visibility in this regard. We know various texts, Rig Veda, we have Aham Rudrevi, we have seen, where women's standing is altered over time and space. Whenever there is a change, as I explained, how the transition took place. The level of prestige and respect afforded to a woman is often measured in comparison to that accorded to a male, as explained by my predecessor, how the equality was given. Not only equity, but equality was there. In India, Hindu women's status has been in flux. It has undergone significant transformations throughout the history. Women in India have historically gone through two stages. One, subjection, and another is deliverance. If you are subjected to do certain things, if you ordain them, you do these things and etc., they will be doing it. They were subjected to that part. And the another one is the deliverance, where they have delivered to the excellence of this one, which was appreciated in the post-Vedic period. And this was revered by the people at home, and they were revered as deity of the household. We do Kanya Puja, and even now, and it was done because we appreciate. But while giving the power and as well as while empowering them, we lack because of our lack of knowledge about the Vedic period. From Vedic era to till date, the women's status as well as position has been changing with the passage of time. we are proud of the accomplishments of the Vedic women, Gargi, Maitreyi, Apala, Gosha, Sita, Savitri, and Draupadi. Just explained about the role of Draupadi. They are still role models for today's women. Such women's character and intellect were glorified in the past, and old customs were revered. In terms of access to and capacity for the ultimate knowledge of the absolute, they were fully equal to men. Gargi was never in that way. She was given the highest status, Maitreyi. They were mantra perceivers. They know the mantra. Now people say that you don't recite Vishnu Sahasranama. Women should not recite. This is in the modern India. It was not like that. You see that Lalita Sahasranama. Nowadays I could see it in our place. I clearly explained to them. See, when we recite Vishnu Sahasranama as a satsangam in Delhi, people say that ladies should not utter it. Now, where it is written? I have asked. Then the Palastuti, you see, ititam kirtaniyasya keshavasya mahatmanaha namnam sahasram divyanam aseshena prakirtitam yaitum shruniyan nityam yaschabhi parikete. There is no difference. The difference is in the way what the benefits will be accrued by the individual Varanas, not about the gender-based differentiation. See how the people, those who have been employed in various fields, they will be getting the benefit. This was the situation. I said that no, there is no such thing. There is no restriction. Again, people started that we have to recite Lalita Sahasranam, we can do it. Many people do not do it the Purva Bhaga and the Palasruti also. It is, since it is a bigger one. They start from the part Sindura, Chindu, Sindura Runa Vigraham, Trinayanam. See, Trinayanam, she has 3 eyes that represent the 3 qualities of women. This was actually given by Agastya. Who is Agastya? We are aware of that Maharishi. That the Agastya Hayagriva Samvata. The Agastya's wife, Lopamudra. She established her presence and the role of empowered woman at various times when Agastya married her and said that I will be leading an ascetic life. She said that you have got married and you have a role as a family man. You have to accomplish it. Maybe in very various terms. This was the information that is available in Vedic texts. That's why when the Rigveda part of Agastya that starts the first 2 slokas that about that family life, etc. That is the words of Lopamudra. Informed woman who got the Brahma Vidya, and because of her we have got the knowledge how to lead a personal life. These are all the issues. See, again, in that way, people say that Lalita Sahasranamam is individual. It is not like that. It has to be recited, and it is the samvada between the Hayagriva and Agastya, and it is for men also. So this was the balance. I said that there is no difference. Vedic texts are common to both the gender. Now coming to the part of the Vedic system, Dharma Shastra, again, at various times the Dharma Shastra differed on the issues, and it was interpreted in a various manner. This is the 7th Manu we have. Manu Dharma Shastra, that's Vayasata Manu now is that. It changed according to the people in power, but it was always misinterpreted. Again, the Dharma Shastras include the life cycle traits, daily rituals, specific responsibilities, and proper behaviors of the Varanas, and never in that way. In Taittiriya Samhita, if we see, it mentions that man and woman, both are two wheels of a cart, imply that both man and woman resemble two bulls yoked in a chariot. Women, according to the Samhita, are stepping stones in their families. That is the Vedic belief. Brahma had a man arisen from his right side and a woman emerges from his left side, where the heart is there. That's why Bhakshasthala. That is my predecessor mentioned about the Matrutva. That's why people say that the man should not be cruel. He should have the Vatsalya. The Vatsalya is very specific to the women. So you also should have that, being a mother, how she will treat her children. You should also learn. That was the concept of the Brahma Vidya and Ardhanarishwara Tattva. In the Brihad Dharma Purana, Maharishi Japali, he asks Maharishi Vyasa, what components are supreme in all the three worlds? He says that there is no better location of pilgrimage than the Ganges, no greater world sustainer than Lord Vishnu, no one as venerable as Lord Shiva, and no greater master than one's own mother, says Maharishi Vyasa. He talks about our own mother who gave birth. This is the Manava Dharma Sutra. He states that motherhood is 10 lakh times more important than that of a teacher, is a Upadhyaya, one who gives formal knowledge. 1 lakh times more important than that of a preceptor, that is an Acharya, and 1,000 times more important than that of a father. So the glorious Rigvedic ideals of fairness and harmony that has started eroded now, and the social status, the economic status, religious status, education status, political status, and domestic affairs in ancient times, that has eroded slowly because of the various changes in the administration that came across. The power centers have changed. We know in various smritis, etc., in Vedic period, women had far more independence than that they did later in India. Hindus have elevated women to the status of divinity in religious concerns, but also gave superiority and gave power and gave knowledge and gave vidya, that is education, at all times. The feminine is the source of all male power. The Trimurti, the Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, are ineffectual without their feminine equivalents. You take out Saraswati, there is no knowledge. Brahma Vidya cannot be Brahma Vidya without Meda Devi, that means Saraswati. The Shakti, without Shakti, you cannot operate. Even Shiva cannot do his Samhara, that is Sankarshna Murti Swarupa, that he cannot do. Even without the Lakshmi, he cannot protect. That's why he kept Mahalakshmi on his Prakshasthala, because always people used to say it should come from your heart. So that represents the Vatsalya, Matrutva, that is Vatsalyatvam, that is there. That's why it is inscribed in that way. Without the three equivalent, feminine equivalents, the trinities are nowhere. So women was seen freely. It was taught in our Vedic text. Women was seen freely during festivals and celebrations, and she participated in sacrifice with men. Like Gargi, they engaged in intellectual debate. We know about what happened even during the 6th and 7th century about Adi Shankara and the debate between sage Adi Shankaracharya and Mandan Mishra. It was moderated by the wife of Mandan Mishra. There was no constraint on remarriage even. If there was a issue like the at home or when she was left without any support, that as a widow. In the light of the foregoing explanation, a really empowered woman in the Vedic age is highly privileged and achieved her higher position in Vedic society. Some of the attributes that we could see during the Vedic period is accruing knowledge, achieving repute and honor in all walks of life. Courage is a morality that all women should possess. A woman is not only a guardian of her family, but also of society, and that she can also join the army to defend her country. That we have seen what Vishapala that she had done. Not only the transgender got like Shikandi also got that opportunity. So we were never discriminated on the basis of gender. A woman is not only a guardian of her family, but also of society, and that she can also join the army and defend her country. Economic progress and wealth, even in the modern India, it was shown by Jhansi Ki Rani, empowered women. Competence in all aspects of life, such as agriculture and warriorship. A female possesses an enlightening mind that provides wealth, food, and well-being. The glorious status of women during the Vedic, epic, and Jain Buddhist periods significantly declined due to various other tests which came up during the other periods. Now, it is in the Hindu society. We are always talking about Hindu society. Today's topic is like that. Women's empowerment in Hindu society. We have been talking about it. And ministries also we have worked about it. I represented Ministry of Women and Child Development on few issues. In Bharati Mazdoor Sangh, when we started in 1990, the women's wing, we started. Why should not? People asked, we are not having it. They have been participating. So our Manya Dattoppan Tengdiji said that no, we should give them a chance how they can lead the session. So there was a separate session. So people are now asking, why RSS should not have an equal part of, that is, women participating in their daily shakas. It is an ignorance. It was decided even in 1930 when Mosiji Lakshmi by Kelkar in the modern India. She thought that. She discussed it with Dr. Saab, Dr. Gayathri, Parapujani Dr. Saab, because her own brother went to Shaka and became a practitioner, and she saw that we should also do something for women. She discussed with the Dr. Ji. Dr. Ji said that, why not? You can get guidance from me because we are in the formal state. Later on, when she developed her own organization, organizing the women, then she decided women should show her power along with men and having the same ideals, thinking about the Bharata Mata and thinking about the Hindu society in a homogeneous manner, but differently and separately. So this was decided by the women, not by the Sangh. That means the part of the Sangha Parivar, Rashtra Sevika Samiti, and in all other organizations, we have equal part of women representing in various, that is holding various responsibilities and discharging various responsibilities. This is the Sangha Parivar issue. Now coming to the Hindu society, the women empowerment is an issue that has come up now only. As I explained earlier about the Islamic era, when I have to protect my daughter, my sisters, then I have to cover them as they do it. There was no parda system, which now exists in northern India. So they started wearing it. And we also said that in order to show them as like the Muslim girls, you also cover your face with your saris, etc. The converted people. So Hindu society transformed because not only because we don't have any power, the power was with the rulers. So then the issue came up when they lost the power to the English people, that is Britishers. Then again came up how the women should be given power. Then they started working on the women empowerment. Various laws came up, and again the influence of Persian law that influenced the Indian laws and as well as the constitution. But we had a very balanced thing based on Vedic knowledge. Now, the issue of Indian Hindu society, whether we discussed about these things, equality, equity, and gender equity. The concept of equality between men and women includes both formal and substantive equality. Equity is something different. You give money, you should also have wealth, I should also have wealth. This is the moral imperative, is dismantle unjust differences based on principles of fairness and justice. We have to develop the notion of equity in the minds of human society, in the men, among the men, and also with the women. We have Parshurama Kalpasutra in Vedic. We have Marmakkatayam, in which gives power to, that is wealth, to the women, that they inherit the property from the maternal side. There is no patriarchal family at that. In Kerala and as well as in Assam, the part of this one. They decided, it was the decision of Parshurama, who got aggrieved by the action of his father Jamadagni, Rishi Jamadagni, sage Jamadagni. He was not wrong at that time, maybe that reason. But he decided, henceforth, I will empower the woman with all such things, so which my mother was oppressed during the post-Vedic period. So he set out the Parashurama Kalpasutra. On the same basis, Lopamudra also, Agastya, Rishi Agastya, and they have set out the principles. So the mind set of the Parashurama, who is the follower of the Shakti and who established the Sakti cult also. About the equity he established. Now, coming to the point of gender equity, it is used in some jurisdictions to refer the fair treatment that has to be given between the women and men, like equal remuneration, gender equality, and all these things. These are all the distribution of powers and rights that is favoring men and disadvantaging women. Now, there are gender constructions of dynamic and fluid. They change over time, and it can be different in different cultures. And Hindu society is not different from it. There are socially learned differences which still exist that we could see. That modern India has transformed in a various manner. My children, that they will be now making the presentation on the women's power now in the next session, so I don't want to take more time, but I wanted to give some few information. See, the representation of percentage of women, not only in India, that is in Hindu society here, as we are predominant here, that's why I make this in India as an Hindu society. That is 21.4%, although the 50% of the population, the divide, that is half of the human population, roughly it is women, and only in 187 countries, the 21.4% of parliamentarian, they are women. Now, if you see in 2000, in America, those who talk about the empowered woman and etc., it is 15.3. In India, that is in Asia, mostly it is 14 point. around 13 and 14%. We are not different from them. But who were earlier 24% in 2000, they have come down to 15%. In Europe, again, it is around 15%, which was 24% in 2000. So they are slowly decreasing. They are not empowering women in any way. How the India is now empowering the women in various society. This is the data that has been available in the UN website. Now coming to the very interesting part of the data with the Indian Parliament, that is where the predominantly that is in Lok Sabha. The last two elections, that is in the 2014 and 2018, we could see the percentage of women reached from the stage of 10 to 15 only during the last two elections. That is, who have empowered the person who is having the interest of thinking in terms of the Vedic period and as well as interested in empowering the women. We could see a woman finance minister now in India who is performing very well. Now coming to the other part, in states, I have very serious data to note. When I studied it, all educated states who claim to be the champion of the women empowerment, very sorry to state, the representation of women in assemblies, it is less than 10%. It is less than 10% in Kerala, that is around Tamil Nadu, and as well as the other states like all educated, that means who have even urbanized states like Maharashtra and in other places. Coming to the other part where we have Rajasthan, they have claimed to be the Bimaru state in that part of it. Is 13%. Very important. West Bengal, again, it's 12%. Haryana is 12.2%, where the women population is lesser than the men population. Chhattisgarh is 11%. Madhya Pradesh is 11%. Bihar is 11%. Sikkim is 10%. Telangana is 10%. Andhra Pradesh is 10%. And all others, including Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Kerala, and all other educated states, they are just below. In Tamil Nadu, it is 8.some%. So, if we could see this women empowerment, we don't want to bring that even that 33% reservation. Had there been no legislation for women at local level, that is 33%, we would have seen no representation at even at Panchayat and district level. That is one of the major amendments that took place in India, modern India. So Hindu women, they are very much performing very well. Self-help groups that have come up. That is one part of empowerment that has come up. The other part that is what could be Shri here is. All these are the Indian society, what I am talking about. But about the Hindu society, that is empowerment. We have given space. There is a change, we could see it at our home. Our girls are studying. Our women are working. The COVID period, I could see in my home and as well as even at various places. Women performed from their home after doing their work. And they excelled very well. Many of the IT companies have not, that is in India, they have not sent out or even sent out their workforce, and they have still employed. They say that we have a good productivity. Why should we reduce? And they have performed very well. The contribution is women power. Again, the self-help groups, they have performed very well. In Hindu society, as well as not only here, my sister here, Uma Bharati ji, was when she spoke to me last time, she said that I am your sister. Of course, she is the descendant of Mahakavi Bharati, who has seen the modern India and also the empowered woman. She can give you a big and as well as a very good lecture. I am not eloquent to that extent, and I feel that she could enlighten us even in a separate session with a lot of information about what Bharati has said has happened now. The Panchali Sabadam, where he talks about the empowered Hindu women. The Draupadi says that, Om Indru Guruvittuvar. That means when she spoke, even the thunderous effort could be seen in the sky. He spoke about the freedom of women. Because the participation of women in the modern India for independence, that was referred by him. And he talks Tiramayalingu Menile Servum, Tia Pandai Igachigal Tepo. He says that the things which has come out in the middle, that is as which we spoke, that is an ancient one, not an ancient one, which came up in the middle, that we have to destroy it. Arivirandadu Pandai Vadakkam, Aanukku Pen Vilanganum Agade. We should not treat the women as animals, which has been happening everywhere. Lot of serials which are now coming up, that which talks about, but not about the empowerment of Hindu. The Arividandadu Pandai Vadakkam, that means the practices have been immaterial, that has gone on. He talks about Penmai Valgendru Kutiduvamada, Penmai Velgendru Kutiduvamada. He also refers, you are empowered, you have the power to speak, and as well as you say that the man has the valor. Valimai serpudhu thaimole palada. Manam cherkum manaviyun vaarthaigal. We never think so. Why should I listen to my wife? He teaches. Manam cherkum manaviyun vaarthaigal. Because had the Koperinjodan heard the views of his wife, the Kannadi, the Kovalan would have not been killed. She said that, listen, ultimately, both of them have gave up their life. Manam cherkum, manaviyin vaarthaigal. Kali ilappadu, pengal aramada, kaigal kottu kalittu ninraduvam. He talks about what in Braj Pradesh, Krishna, the Rasalila, that was the Hindu woman. That is the empowered woman. She played with the people in and around, and there was no difference between men and women in the heart and as well as in the practice. The culmination, what we talks about, it was not there. He also spoke about various things where Madarku undu Sudandaram Indrini, Vanmalathiruvayin Murinda Sol. He talks about the Pudumai Pen. Potri over Iron Potri Session. Satri Vandani, Madarasi. He talks about Madarasi. Madarasi, not. He gives in the feminine word, Madarasi. Vedam Punnuriga Karnigi Yagi, Mainmay Sedame Katida Chulvado. Sadal Mutal Kedikum Amurdamo, Tayel Vaja, Pallandinge. So these are all the things that we are well aware of it. Let us see how the empowered woman should be there. He's envisioned in 30s. Yetayum Pengal Tuduvadi Timayan, in Timayan Rendirundavar Mind the Vitar, Vitukule Penne Putti Pomendra, Vinde Minither Talegavanda. We could see it now. The educated women, now they are now leading in all the way. The NEET examination, JEE examination which has come up, we could see the girls are performing very well. Even in the competitions, they even excel over the boys. He talks about the chastity. Hindu society means this has the chastity which is very particular about it. But he says that, which was inscribed in the Vedic period. The Lopamudra also says that. Karpu rilai என்று சொல்ல வந்தார் இரு கட்சிக்கும் அதை பொதுவில் வைப்போம் வற்புறுத்தி பெண்ணை கட்டிக் கொடுக்கும் வழக்கத்தை தள்ளி மிதித்திடுவோம் கும்மியடி பெண்கள் Kummiyadi Tamil Nadu Muduvadum, Kulangida Kaigal Kotti Kummiyadi. This was the vision that was given by Mahakavi Bharati. Vedam Padaikum, Needigal Seyavum, Vendi Vandom என்று Kummiyadi, Sadam Padaikum Seydiduvom, Deva Sadi Padaikum Seydiduvom. We could even create a separate the divine caste.
Shamami Ache Mahodaya, Samayaha Atitaha Asti.
So, thank you. So, in this way, Madhararangal Padamai Katilum Matri Parache Parvomadi. This is how Mahakavi Bharatiya envisioned about the empowered woman, but it is now happening in the Hindu society. And when we come to finally about the empowerment of women, there are three things. One is education, another is skilling, third is about microfinancing. These three things are now happening. The education, nowadays we are not partial, that we are not impartial to our children in Hindu society. We are imparting good education to them. Even the government is also facilitating. Another one is about the skilling. We could see many small entrepreneurs, they have been engaged, and women entrepreneurs have come out in large numbers during this period due to microfinancing and as well as this Mudra scheme. I could see them and they have successfully operating elsewhere. I could see two women from Lagu Udyog Bharati along with me in 2017 and 18 in ILO conference along with me. They came and she said that how they have, this is from the Sangha Parivar Society, Lagu Udyog Bharati, and gave about the experience that how they are excelling in the field of the entrepreneurship. That was one. Another thing is about microfinancing. In not only that, even in army, that we could see the women, they are working very well, and they have come out with their own perception and the inspiring instances that have come across could see that the empowered woman is in the Hindu society has slowly increased, but we still have a long way to go. I would like to some of the misconceptions that we have to see when we are talking about the empowerment of women. Unfortunately, some of the politicians, some of the Western influenced activists, they differentiate the women in the name of caste, which Abhastamba, Rishi Abhastamba says that. No, it's Abhastamba Sutra says that there is no difference of women on the basis of caste. That's a different issue. That was the Vedic period. My Acharya teacher is a Kumar Swami Dikshita of Kanchimatam. He said that if we reveal all these things, then there will be chaos. I asked him, why should not we say to our society? Because it is already influenced by Western forces, he told that, because they will spoil it. So the Rishi Abhastamba's views about the status of women as an independent and unaffiliated to any caste, etc., that what he viewed when he was doing his scholarly work, I assisted him at that time. From the Satapatha Brahmana, he quoted. Recently, I examined about the issues, that is 2-3 years back. In JNU, the Mahishasura Mardini incident, some of the so-called activists, what is happening in Tamil Nadu also, that we could see it here. It happened in JNU. People, those who have added the Dalit factor to the issue. Let us give about they say that Ma Durga, who killed the demon king Mahishasura, they have seen it in a different way. They added a Dalit factor in that one. She was a Gori, the white woman, and the Mahishasura is a Dalit boy. She attacked, and all the concepts they have differently placed. The Hindu society, the empowered Hindu women, now they have to counter them in such a way. It was not in that way. Don't differentiate women on the basis of caste. A woman is a woman. And Ma Durga killed the Taman king because of his inhuman behavior. If that is the case, why they don't talk about the Kshatriya woman Sita and the Brahmin Ravana? I question them. So these are all the things, the selective approaches which is being made by the activists to defame the Vedic texts and as well as to represent in a different way should be counted. They say that Mahishasura was in such a way, and that was counted by many of our activists and the student boys who have come across with that. Because of this Muslim era and as well as colonial teachings, this has changed. These are all some of the issues which are relevant to be learned by our Hindu society. There are instances where they wanted to put the Hindu women, the Hindu society, the women in the Hindu society in a different way. I would like to say the empowered woman in the Hindu society is an asset to the Hindu society, and they will continue to be leading the beacon for the Hindu society. Let us support and as well as give them their space in our own house, let us start it from our house and as well as propagate the uniqueness of the Vedic period. Thank you very much. Namaskaraha. Adyanta Dhanyavadaha.
प्रेरणादायक भाषणम् आसीत् महोदय। महान् सन्तोषः। वेदेषु वेदसूक्तेषु विविध संहितासु नारीवन्दनस्य प्रस्तावनां प्रकटीकृतवान् भवान्। चरित्रवृत्तान्तेषु नारीशक्तिः कथम् आसीत् इति विषये, स्वतन्त्रता निर्माणाय महिलानां योगदानम् इति विषये, लोपामुद्रायाः विषये, वैवस्वतमनोः विषये, शाक्तेयपद्धति विषये, नारीणां जनसंख्या विषये इति यत् सर्वं भवान् उक्तवान् तत् सर्वं ज्ञानदायकमासीत्, प्रेरणादायकमासीत्। महोदयं वयम् अन्तिमसमये एव सम्भाषणाय सूचितवन्तः, किन्तु चेदपि सः झटिति अङ्गीकृतवान् इति अस्माकं वैभवः, अस्माकं सन्तोषः। भवन्तः समययोगदानाय ज्ञानपरिवर्तनाय च संस्कृतवाणी पक्षतः धन्यवादान् समर्पयामः महोदय। अग्रे श्री आदिशंकर भगवत्पादस्य कृतीनाम् एकमस्ति मातृका पञ्चकम् इति। जगद्गुरुः स्वस्य मात्रे वन्दनपद्धतौ चक्रुः पञ्चश्लोकीय इदं मातृपञ्चकम्। कृत्याम् इदं मातुः वैशिष्ट्यं सम्पूर्णम् उक्तमस्ति भगवत्पादेन। One of the great compositions of Jagadguru Shri Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada is Matru Panchakam. He wonderfully portrays the glory of one's mother in a set of 5 shlokas. Let me now call upon Srimati Annapoorani, who is a spiritually devoted, multilingual personality, to chant Matru Panchakam, signifying all mothers and their sacrifices.
Namaskara. Now, first I want to say thanks for giving opportunity to participate in this great program. And I'm going to chant Matru Panchakam, which has 5 verses, which is composed by Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada. Astam tavadiyam prasuti samaye Durvarasulavyaتا नैरुच्यं तनुशोषणं मलमयी सय्याच सांवत्सरे एकस्यापि न गर्भभारवरण क्लेशस्य यस्य क्षमो तातुं निष्कृतिमुन्नतोऽपि तनयः तस्यै जनन्यै नमः। गुरुकुलमुपसृत्य स्वप्नकाले तु दृष्ट्वा यदि समुचितवेषं प्रारुतो मां त्वमुच्चैः गुरुकुलमत सर्वं प्रारुदत्तो समक्षं सपदि चरणयोस्ते मातरस्तु प्रणामः। न दत्तमातस्ते मरणसमये तोयमपि वा स्वधावनो दत्ता मरणदिवसे श्राद्ध विधिना न जप्तो मातस्ते मरणसमये दारगमनो अकाले सम्प्राप्ते मयुकुरुदयां मातरतुला मुक्तामणिस्त्वं नयनं अमेति राजेति जीवेति चिरं सुतत्वम् इत्युक्त्वत्यस्तव वाचि मातः दधाम्यहं तण्डुलमेष शुष्कम् अम्बेति तातेति शिवेति तस्मिन् प्रसूतिकाले यतवोच बुच्चैः कृष्णेति गोविन्द हरे मुकुन्दे इत्यहो जनन्ये रचितोऽयमञ्जलि इति मातृका पञ्चस्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम्। थैंक यू।
महान् सन्तोषः माता, अत्युत्तमं गीतवती। सङ्गीतद्वारा एव मातृका पञ्चकम् अस्मान् सूचितवती। क्षमां याचे भवत्यै। किमर्थमित्युक्ते भवत्याः गीतं तु प्रथममासीत्, मुख्य अतिथि सम्भाषणस्य पूर्वमेव आसीत्। क्षमां याचे। अग्रे अधुना नारी शक्ति इति अद्यतन शीर्षकमुद्दिश्य प्राचीनकालतः यावत् भारते देशनिर्माणाय विविध क्षेत्रेषु निष्पादित श्रेष्ठ नारीणां विषये उपस्थापनं कुर्वतः कुमारी वर्षिणी, कुमारी सुदर्शना च. Now we are about to learn interesting facts of outstanding women who had contributed in diversified fields for establishment of a nation with a great vision. I now call upon Kumari Varshini and Kumari Sudarshana to share their presentation on the same. Kumari Varshini, a student pursuing her master's in Sanskritam at Srimad Andavan Arts and Science College, Srirangam, is also a Karyakartri of Samskrita Bharathi. Kumari Sudarshana, a teacher of Sanskritam at Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Nagapattinam, is also a good orator. I am happy to welcome both of them to share their thoughts on the same. भाषणात् पूर्वमेव क्षमां याचे। समयः अतीतः, वयं ततः समयम् अनुसृत्य तादृशं समापयन्तु इति प्रार्थये।
Please unmute Varshini and Sudarshana.
सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितराम् इतरानपेक्षमङ्घ्रिद्वयं निगमशाखी शिखाप्रवालं हैरम्बमम्बुरुह डम्बर चौर्यनिघ्नं विघ्नाद्रिभेतशतधार धुरन्धरं नः। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। My humble, hearty salutations to everyone. In this warm evening, we are here with the topic women empowerment. We heard great legends, words that taught us more than our expectations. Now, with the same spirit, let us flip into few slides filled with our ancient women empowerment. Yes, empowerment that states some power is given to do something. Yeah, some rights given to do or to explore. These slides would make us clear how to utilize these powers and how our glorious woman utilized it. Shall we start? First, our great Gagi Vachaknavi, daughter of Vachaknu. She was a woman who had perfect proficiency in Vedas and scriptures. Let me quickly say the purpose why she is in our slide. She must have done something to take place in our slides, right? Yes. What she did, we all know great sage Yakkyavalkya. In Tamil, Yakkyavalkyar. The sage Yakkyavalkya was a great sage in his period. No one can stand before him. That pride he had. Once, when Janaka, the king of Videha, arranged Rajasuya Yajnam, many sages took parts. Every sages were great scholars. So Janaka got an idea to award a prize of 1,000 cows with 6 grams of gold for each cow for the greatest sage from one among the scholars gathered. As Janaka himself a great scholar, others doubted themselves. In the situation, Yakkyavalkya believed in his talents and volunteered for the prize. Some sages questioned him to test the knowledge. All the questions were skillfully broken very easily. The point here is that Gagi was one among the scholars. She was the only girl who gave tough to Yakkyavalkya in the whole gatherings. And one happened between them. She was one of Janaka's ministers. Similarly, the next slide. Gosha. She is the greatest.
This one or next one?
We can see many children getting depressed for simple things. Simple things these days, but she, Gosha, who suffered from skin ailment known as leprosy, she strongly prayed to Ashwini Kumaras for some years and got cured. She is the greatest role model for today's women with delayed pregnancy for strong belief. And we can also learn that, next slide, Lopamudra. Yeah, Lopamudra. She is the wife of Agastya. We may know that Lopamudra was a princess of Vidarbha kingdom. When she got her age to be married, she was forced to marry sage Agastya. Yes, Agastya would tell the Vidarbha king to arrange marriage for him and his daughter, as they feared that sage may curse if not obeyed. They accepted the approach with this daughter's consent. We all may know till this part, and Lopamudra was again forced to leave all the richness. But do we know that she was stubborn, that she would give birth to her son only when Agastya get back all the richness, as she do not want her son to beg for the food. And I'd like to conclude my speech with that. Pitrubhir bhratrubhischa etaha patibhir devataistatha pujya bhushaistavyascha bahukalyanam ipsubihi. Women must be honored and adorned by their fathers, brothers, husbands, and brothers-in-law who desire their own welfare. And धन्यवादः।
सर्वेषां मम नमस्कारः। इदानीं let me continue from this slide. Ji, can you kindly share slide number 7? Yeah, the next one. The next slide, please.
Gosha? Yeah, which one
After,
you need? Leelavati
after
or
Gosha, Leelavati. Let me start from where Varshini Bhagini left. Leelavati. Leelavati is a girl child who was a daughter of Bhaskaracharya. Bhaskaracharya, we all might have known him that he have written a great he was a great mathematician. Also, he was a great astrologer and astronomer. His child Leelavati was also highly interested in mathematics, but Bhaskaracharya was not that much interested to make her educated. He, as an astronomer, and he gone through her horoscope, and he was in a mind to get her married in the upcoming muhurtam, which was the only muhurtam that she would get married. If not so, she'll not be getting married throughout her life. So he decided to get her married. So after that, when in the time of the marriage, he placed a water clock in the middle of the marriage hall, just to confirm that the exact time is being got to get Leelavati married. But from Leelavati's ornament, a bead would fell on that water clock, and it will stuck on the hole. It will stuck the water. It will restrict the water to come up, so the muhurtam time will pass away. So Leelavati would be highly depressed, as today's world's kids get totally highly depressed due to very simple things. But Leelavati, as a child, would get highly depressed due to this act, due to this stop of her marriage. She would get highly depressed, and later, after this situation, Bhaskaracharya would understand that he himself had forced her daughter to such a depression. So he would find a way to heal her from the depression. So he would make some difficult questions, difficult problems from mathematics, which she loves, and he gives as a letter to Leelavati. Leelavati would actually solve all those problems in a poetic way and reply to him. All these problems and solutions were made into a book named Leelavati by Bhaskaracharya, which consists of 276 different mathematical problems, which is famously known as Leelavati. So, from this story, from this history, it is clear that an education is a great, very important thing for every woman in this world. Even the ancient girls would had great education background. Can we go to the next? Yeah. Next comes Khana. Khana is a great role model for every woman who are working in different areas. Khana was a great astrologer. She was a daughter-in-law of a great astronomer who was called as Varaha Mihara. He was a head astrologer in the court of Vikramaditya. Once Vikramaditya would ask everyone in the kingdom to solve his doubt. No astronomers would have done that. Varaha Mihira got help from Khana and solved the doubt of the king. So women had that much knowledge in every field. Not only Khana, we would have not known the name Rusha. Rusha was a great had great knowledge in medicine. She had mentioned many times in Vedas about medicines, and in those days learning medicines was quite difficult, very difficult, because it was taught only after the age of 14, where women on those days got married on the age of 14. So it was highly difficult to learn medicine. But as a woman, Usha learned medicine and presented many times regarding the maternity of women and so on. And next comes next after this, yes. Next comes our Ubhayapati. Ubhayapati was the wife of Mishra. Mishra and Shankaracharya once had a great argument, and Shankaracharya was in the position to win the argument. Ubhayapati, as a wife of Mishra, asked the question, helped Mishra to win the battle by asking the question from Grihastha. As a Shankaracharya was he was a sannyasi, so he was highly difficult. He felt highly difficult to answer that question, which Ubhayapati asked from a Grihastham. She intellectually asked a question from Grihastham. So Shankaracharya was highly trapped in her question. Then, so as the before speakers told that women have highly responsible, they have highly intellectual, they are highly responsible in their family, in the field they work, in their career, and so on. And last comes our Maitreyi, and we have one more. So Maitreyi was the second wife of Yajnavalkya. First wife, she got married to Yajnavalkya with the permission of the first wife, and Maitreyi just got married to Yajnavalkya just to learn scriptures, just to improve her knowledge in the scriptures, in Vedas, and so on. She was a Kanyastri till her death. She just married Yajnavalkya to improve her knowledge. And when Yajnavalkya left his both the wife and he decided to go to sannyasa, Yajnavalkya said that he would divide his wealth between equally to both the wives. Maitreyi would question him, will the wealth make her eternal? Will the wealth help us to live long without death? Yajnavalkya was struck in that moment, and Maitreyi told, I have not married you just for your wealth and pleasures. I need to become eternal, so please teach me the way to become eternal. And he gave her some upadesas, and she got mukti. So on those days also, women were very stubborn, and they had that guts to say no. Then Yashodhara. Yashodhara, we might have known her. Yashodhara was the wife of Siddhartha, well-known Buddha. She was a woman who ruled the kingdom after her husband's decision. He went to sannyasa, leaving his whole family, right? So she took care of the kingdom after him. She was quite bold enough when once after some years Buddha came back to the kingdom to visit his family. Yashodhara just questioned why did he left without informing them. Her question was why he left without informing them. She did not ask why he left. She did not ask whether she was the reason or whether to come. She did not insisted him to come back. She just questioned why he left without informing. And she took care of his son, and she made the kingdom to the next level. In the same way, next, Ahilya, who was Ahilya Bai Holkar. She was the wife of a great king. In those days, we had the practice of sati, right? She was the first woman who. She was the second woman who broke that activity. Her in-laws also supported her. In the Holkar family, they had the habit of marrying to the relatives. So Ahilya was married to a person who had the same age. In the age of 14, she got, in the age of 8, she got married. In the age of 14, her husband was lost in a war. So after that, she lived for some years. She lived for around 10 to 12 years. Within 25 or 26 years, she built around 100 temples in India, and she won the war of around 3 wars and saved her kingdom. She personally went to her armies and she personally trained the soldiers herself. So women had that much guts in the ancient period itself. So never worry whether the societal pressures, whether the society speaks after your partner leaves you, whether you have any supports, you have no supports, you will not be able to survive. These are the just words of the society. You can live. The only thing that we have to improve is we have to utilize our powers. Utilize our rights. It is not that we are not getting, we are not doing. So here are some other great points that Chandragupta Maurya, who was the founder of Maurya Empire, had around 100 to 200 bodyguards who are political advisors, who are women. And also in the Kalidasa Shakuntala, a great Sanskrit play, King Dushyanta is accompanied by Yavanas. Yavanas are the Greek female bodyguards. He had the Greek female bodyguards, and as we know well that in Ramayana, Dasharatha, Dasharatha's wife Kaikeyi was his chariot before his marriage with Kaikeyi. She was a chariot in a war. And in the same Ramayana, Sita left Rama as he wanted to test her again for the society. Just for the society, he wanted to test Sita again. So Sita left him, and Sita was a role model that we are not the property to be tested every time. So we can try our best to become heroines in our own place. Their actions made them heroines. They are not born as a heroine. They made themselves heroine by their actions. So let us become heroines in our own stories. Let me end with this. Hope the slides would have made you know something better about ancient women. Hope I was also clear. Sorry, and thank you for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
अत्युत्तममासीत् वर्षिण्याः तथा सुदर्शनायाः उपस्थापनं विवरणिकाद्वारा विषयप्रतिपादनं बहु सम्यक् आसीत्। समयपालनमपि अकार्ष्टं भवतीभ्याम् अस्माकं पक्षतः धन्यवादान् शुभाशयान् च व्याहरामः। Any कार्यक्रम reaches heights only on receipt of honest feedbacks. These would really encourage the organizers and the participants to contribute more. I now call upon Srimati Uma Jayaraman, followed by Shri Murali Subramanianji, to share their valuable feedbacks about our Samskrita Vani program. Please, ma'am.
Harihi Om. उत्तमः कार्यक्रमः आसीत्। संस्कृतेन तत्र व्यवहारः इति श्रवणमधुरम् इति तु तत्र वचनस्य तत्र आवश्यकता एव नास्ति। संस्कृतेन तत्र श्रवणं यदि भवेत् तर्हि इतोपि तत्र संस्कृतस्य प्रसारः प्रचारः तु भवति एव। अतः अनेन कार्यक्रमेण यः तत्र प्रयत्नं तत्र क्रियते, यत्किञ्चिदपि तत्र प्रयत्नं क्रियते तत्तु बहु किं प्रशंसनीयम् इति एव वक्तुम् इच्छामि। तथापि तन्त्रज्ञानं तत्र यत् सैन्टिफिक् अस्ति तेन तत्र अस्माकं पुरातनी या परम्परा अस्ति तस्य योजनं यत्किञ्चिदपि अस्ति एतत्तु किञ्चित् विलक्षणं प्रशंसनीयम् इति एव। बालानां योजनं कथं भवेत् इति अपि किञ्चित् विचिन्त्य यदि भावी तत्र भविष्ये तत्र ये बालाः सन्ति तेषां तत्र कृते यदि किमपि इतोपि किञ्चित् यत् योजयामः इतोपि सम्यक् भवेत्, यतः ते एव निर्मातारः इति। अस्तु, उत्तमम्, नमो नमः।
Thank you. I am Murali Subramanian. First of all, I must congratulate Vishali ji for her, the leadership qualities that she had in conducting all these 25 weeks. Coming to a silver jubilee is not an easy thing, and she has done it. I know how difficult it is to organize such kind of programs, especially in the languages which many of us do not know. Great. Congratulations, Vishali ji. Second thing is today's the theme is something great, Nari Shakti, and then today many women, they have really done a very good job. Gayathri rocked with anchoring as MOC, Meera on Kamakshi, Umaji, then Annapoorani, Varshini, Sudarshana, fantastic. It's something really great. Women talking about women empowerment, etc., is not something great. But men talking great about women is something more applaudable. We had Shankar Kumaran. As usual, he is great in explaining. Today he gave the significance of woman power from Mahabharata, talking about Sakthi, freedom, Swayambara, decision making, equality. Fantastic. Something really applaudable. Then came Sownderrajan ji. He started with Devi Suptam, and then he in India woman empowerment with lot of data. I think men need more time to talk about women empowerment. Okay. Finally, these two ladies, Varshini and then Sudarshana, and they talked about 7-8 ladies, very, very famous ladies, but many of them we do not know. In fact, I came to know about few of them today only. Great. The representation was something fantastic. Thank you very much.
धन्यास्मि धन्यास्मि अग्रे धन्यवाद प्रकटनार्थं लक्ष्मी कुमारी लक्ष्मी आह्वयामि. I call upon Kumari Lakshmi to deliver the oath of thanks for today's session.
महोदय कृते धन्यवादान् व्याहयामि. एवं सुभाषितं रीत्या सुष्ठु विषयान् प्रतिपादितां डॉक्टर आर उमा भारती महोदया धन्यवादान् व्याहरामि. स्वागतभाषणं कृतवतः शिवकुमार अय्यर महोदयेभ्यः च कृते धन्यवादान् व्याहरामि. भगवद्गीता विषयान् सुष्ठु प्रदर्शितान् शंकर कुमारन् महोदयेभ्यः च कृते धन्यवादान् व्याहरामि. अद्य दिन मुख्य अतिथिरूपेण मुख्य भाषणं कृतवतेभ्यः सौन्दरराजन् महोदयेभ्यः धन्यवादान् व्याहरामि. तत्र विषयतया वुमन् एम्पवर्मेंट इन हिंदू सोसाइटी इति विषये सुष्ठु प्रतिष्ठितवद्भ्यः सौन्दरराजन् महोदयेभ्यः च कृते पुनः धन्यवादान् व्याहरामि. मातृका पंचकं गीतवत्याः अन्नपूरणी महोदयाभ्यः कृते धन्यवादान् व्याहरामि. नारी शक्ति इत्यस्मिन् विषये पीपीटी द्वारा प्रतिष्ठितवद्भ्यः मम भगिनीभ्यः वर्षिणी सुदर्शना तेभ्यः च कृते धन्यवादान् व्याहृत्य अन्ते एतान् विषयान् सुष्ठु प्रकटीकृतेभ्यः गायत्री महोदयेभ्यः च कृते धन्यवादान् व्याहृत्य धन्यवादः.
धन्यवादाः लक्ष्मी भगिनी. अधुना वयं कार्यक्रमस्य अन्तिमस्थित्यां स्मः. अतः शान्ति मन्त्रम् उक्त्वा समापयामः इति सर्वेषां प्रार्थये.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः धन्यवाद
शुभरात्रिः सर्वेषाम्।